Hello. Today we are talking about the process of obtaining on-campus housing at the Storrs campus for campus change students who will be coming to Storrs for the fall of 2019. There are a few things you should know about living on campus at Storrs. We have approximately 12,700 students who live on campus, which is 70% of the total undergraduate population. Up to 40,000 people can be on campus on any given day. This includes faculty, staff, and students. It's very important for this reason to make sure that you identify yourself and why you're contacting our office or any other office on campus so that we're able to better assist you. We have a high demand for on-campus housing due to our excellent community environment on campus. There is a new residency requirement taking effect for fall of 2019. Campus change students who have less than 54 credits at the end of the spring 2019 semester or who will be under the age of 20 years old as of August 26, 2019, will be required to live on campus at Storrs for their first 2 semesters. If you fall into this category and are considering commuting from home, please visit our website to learn more information about the residency requirement and applicable exemptions. Some important tips as you begin to think about applying for on-campus housing for fall 2019. Make sure you work on your approval documentation early. The deadline for both campus change approval and your housing application is March 1st, 2019. You'll log into My Housing to complete the 2019-2020 current student application. There was a January 21st deadline you may have heard about, but that was for current Storrs residents. Campus change students who complete the application and are approved for campus change by March 1st will be considered on-time applicants. If for some reason when you log into My Housing you do not have access to the application, please email our office at livingoncampus@uconn.edu with your name, your student ID number, and your request for access to the Storrs housing application. You should expect to have a roommate on campus and start to think about how you will share space with that student and how you might negotiate any roommate conflicts or concerns. The majority of our spaces on campus are multiple occupancy, so it's important to keep this in mind. Know how to ask for help when you get here and who you can ask. We have lots of staff available and make sure you use them as a resource. We have full-time professional hall directors who live in our buildings and manage the residence halls. We also have over 300 RAs on campus, our resident assistant student leaders, who live on floors and in our buildings with students and serve as a resource with information and can assist you with housing issues. We also have residential services or the operations center. These are our housekeeping and maintenance staff who care for and clean the residents' buildings. The operations center is a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week office. Students can call at any time regarding maintenance issues or concerns. When you arrive to the Storrs campus, think about how you will get involved. Find a group that interests you. This will help you meet students and learn how to navigate the campus. Please make sure that you are reading your UConn email address. This is very important. The prime method of communication is via your UConn email address. If you currently have your email address set up to forward to a personal address, please be cautious as this may cause some very important emails to be sent to spam. Please remember that deadlines are deadlines and not guidelines. Once you have applied for housing and are approved for campus change and guaranteed on-campus housing, you will be participating in our online selection process. The selection process allows you to choose your own housing assignment for the fall 2019. The selection process will run from 9 a.m. on April 1st through 11:59 p.m. on April 21st. It's similar to enrollment in that you can select beginning with your personal selection time through the end of the selection process. Selection times will be available in mid-March and will be listed on your My Housing account. Selection times are generated based on class standing and credits earned. Any 2 students with the same amount of credits will select in a random order. Please note that the credits earned will not include any credits you are attempting for the spring 2019 semester. You can select housing with another campus change approved student or Storrs student as long as they are eligible and also participating in the selection process. Please make sure that you choose wisely. Once you make a selection, you cannot make a change. You get one choice in your room, and then you have to stay in that room until the summer room change process. For the housing selection process, you'll begin to be able to select and match with roommates prior to the process itself. Roommate selection will take place in early March. The first step is to select a roommate. You need to add or confirm a roommate request before choosing a room or being pulled into a space. All roommate requests must be mutual. The second step will come during the housing selection process, and this is how you select a room. You'll access the selection process starting at your assigned time. You have one pick. Once you choose a room or are pulled into a room by a roommate, you cannot change your room or roommate during the selection process. Some important notes. If for some reason you are unable to select housing at your designated time, please contact our office and request a proxy. A member of our staff will select for you using your preferences and selection time. This is especially important as in the event that a staff member makes a mistake, we would be able to correct that mistake. If you give a friend your name and your login password so that they can select for you, and they make a mistake, we are not able to fix those errors. You may be consolidated within your building or area if there are multiple rooms, suites, or apartments with vacancies. We consolidate to house continuing students together to reserve spaces for incoming new students to live together. In the event that we need to consolidate a building or area, we will contact you via email to inform you of this. If you do not use your selection time and do not choose housing, you will be assigned housing by a staff member in Residential Life. Please visit Selection Central on our website for tutorials on how to select an assignment, how to match with a roommate, and all sorts of other information about the selection process. Continue to check back in Selection Central as we will feature more information getting closer to the selection process. It's important to think about your realistic expectations for your selection time. We have less than 500 total single rooms on campus. It is unlikely that you will find a single room through selection. We do not have enough apartment spaces for our senior class. It is unlikely that you will find an apartment space during your selection time. The more students you want to room with, the more difficult it may be to find a space. You can select with up to 5 roommates in a suite with 6 spaces, but as students begin selecting spaces individually, there will be fewer suites with 6 full spaces together. If you have a large group of roommates matched, and you go into the selection process and see no rooms available, it does not mean there's a problem with the process. It typically means that there are no rooms with that many available spaces. Think about how you will break down your group if you cannot live together. Will you all break out and select individually? Will you break out in pairs? What other rooms or areas might you be interested in? Think about geography versus roommates. Which is more important to you? The type of room and the location, or the person that you are living with? Here are some frequently asked questions. When is the deadline to have my campus change approved and to have my housing application submitted? The deadline for both of these items is the same, March 1st, 2019. Can I select housing with a current Storrs student? Yes. If you are both eligible for selection, you both need to request one another as roommates and be fully matched when going into the selection process. But you can match and live together in the same space. Am I guaranteed housing if I have previously lived on the Storrs campus? At this time, campus change students who have previously lived at Storrs will not be guaranteed housing. These students will be placed on the wait list for housing. We will reach out to students on the wait list with updates on their status via their UConn email address. What should I do if I require a medical accommodation for housing? If you have not already done so, please contact the Center for Students with Disabilities to register for your medical needs. The Center for Students with Disabilities works with Residential Life to determine an appropriate space. Students are encouraged to contact the CSD by the end of February. What if I require summer registration to be approved for campus change? Summer registration dates typically begin after the deadline for campus change and the housing application. Residential Life tries to work with students who require summer registration, provided they are approved for campus change after registration and have completed their housing application by the March 1st deadline. It's vital that you complete your housing application by March 1st so that we are able to consider you an on-time housing applicant. What if I decide to remain at my regional campus? Students who cancel their campus change are not responsible for cancellation fees. Students who cancel their housing but remain Storrs students are responsible for cancellation fees. Please check the cancellation fee schedule in the 2019-2020 housing contract available on the residential website for more information. If you have any further questions about campus change or obtaining housing on the Storrs campus, please call or email our office with any questions you have. You can email us at livingoncampus@uconn.edu or call at 860-486-2926. We'd also like to encourage you to follow us on social media if you don't already. We often will release information about selection, which spaces are still available and which have been taken, your chances at getting a potential space through our social media outlets. Thank you and congratulations on your campus change.